I'm back. I am heading out to my shop. The level of tired I feel is like down into my bones, which is probably partially from my trip just being gone. I also feel like I'm having a harder time breathing. Like my body is putting everything into this mass. So I'm going to the doctor today to hopefully get my surgery scheduled. Also got a nice little cold sore while I was in Palm Springs because it's so dry there. So that stinks. All right, so I'm back at my shop and I got a new automatic garage door, which is amazing. So I don't have to manually lift it up. And I know that's not a big issue, but this one was broken. So it was like lifting the whole weight of the garage door every day, multiple times a day, because if I went inside for long periods of time, I had to close the door. So this is super exciting. It also has windows on it, so it lets more light in. And so today I need to organize all that back into its home. I need to get to work because later today I have my appointment with my surgeon and I'm gonna get my surgery scheduled hopefully sooner rather than later because I feel like crap. And the pain's getting pretty bad. And when I say pain, it's not like cut open pain. It's just like this constant pressure that's getting worse and worse and worse. And then every now and then there are these like shots of pain because I think it's starting to push on nerves. So I feel like I have a lot to do, but it'll be really nice to have some answers as far as the time frame I'm working in. So I actually just found a bunch of old art pieces that I either never completed or didn't sell. So I'm gonna revamp them a bit and then see if I can sell those. And then I'm finishing up some Christmas ornaments. I started making these this year actually. And then last year's look like this, which I may make some of these if I have time before surgery. And then these were my first year ornaments. They look like this. A couple different color options. They're actually on sale. They're only $10 on the website. So I'm gonna link that below if you wanna get some. They will go fast and I'll never make them again. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then I'm gonna take a shower and go to my doctor's appointment. It is Friday right now, a little less than a week now to get everything ready to have a surgery that I have no idea how it's gonna turn out. I wanted to just give you an update on what I learned about my surgery and when my surgery is. I met with my surgeon on Wednesday afternoon, and then after that appointment, I think I was just really overwhelmed and I came home and just slept. And then yesterday was pretty overwhelmed and was also watching my nieces all day. This is really the first chance that I've gotten around to getting on here and just getting out my thoughts a little bit. And also I apologize if there's a weird background noise. The heat's on and I have a feeling that this camera is gonna pick up on that. This is the time that I'm filming it, so there's nothing I can do about it. With that being said, as I said, I met with my doctor on Wednesday afternoon to do pre-op appointment to get this mass out of my pelvis. First things first, I actually got to see images of the mass, and let me just say my jaw dropped open when I saw it. And at first I was like, what is that big area right there? And he's like, that's your mass. And I was just like, oh my gosh. When I would like put my two fists together, I'm not kidding when I say that it's about this size. This is from a month ago, so it very well could be bigger now. And that's pretty incredible, which makes sense because I am feeling a lot of pain in my hips and on my pelvic floor, and it's pushing into my bladder and into my colon. So it just basically feels like I'm being stretched from the inside out, and it's like pulling at my hip bones. Maybe it's grown bigger now, so it is taking up more space in my pelvis. With that being said, we also went over what would happen during surgery. He's going to attempt to do the surgery robotically or laparoscopically. There is the possibility that he will have to do a laparotomy or open me up from pelvis bone to belly button, go in that way as well, which is not a surprise to me because I have a lot of scar tissue in my pelvis and my abdomen cavity from all the other surgeries I've had, and I've had radiation on my left hip pelvis area, so there's just a lot going on down there. In fact, when he did my hysterectomy 2.5 years ago, when I woke up, I remember him telling me that it actually took him a lot longer because he had to navigate through all of the scar tissue. I'm not going to be totally surprised if I wake up and he has had to go in that way. I'd say I'd be pretty disappointed. The recovery time from the surgeries are incredibly different, an incredibly different pain scale. I'm really hoping that he can do it laparoscopically. On the flip side, he told me that if he did have to go in and cut me open, he could repair the damage that was done from my original scar. Because of the infection that I developed when I was 24, they had to leave me open, so my scar, as you can see, is a lot thicker than it would have normally been had I not developed the infection. So he said that he could go in and pull the skin together and make it a lot thinner. At this point, I honestly don't really care. I've lived with this scar for 20 some odd years now, so it's just a part of me. Just trying to find a little bit of a silver lining here. Then he kind of dropped a ball on me and gave me worst case scenario. So most of the mass is fluid, but there is a portion, and he showed me on the scans, that is solid. He cannot tell where that portion is growing from. I did have a colonoscopy a couple weeks ago, and that came out clean. So that was reassuring that it's not like internal colon cancer, but my mom had colon cancer and the tumor started on the outside of her colon and grew inward. That does make me a little bit nervous that that could be happening here as well. The worst case scenario is that they will get in there and they will need to resection my colon and remove part of it. He said that if that was the case, that I would have to get a stoma, which is either a colostomy or an ileostomy bag. I've had an ileostomy bag before. I had it for 3 months while my pelvis was healing from the infection. I will admit, I don't want that. I'm not sure many people do want it. I know I could live with it, but I just feel like where I'm at in my life right now, it would be pretty devastating to wake up and have a bag again. Also, it was a little bit confusing because I didn't quite understand why he couldn't just cut part of my colon away and then resection it. I do have some questions that I want to talk to him about prior to surgery. What I want him to understand is that if it's a life-saving measure, absolutely. Otherwise, I really do not want to wake up to a stoma, and I don't quite understand why that would even be necessary. In my previous surgery, they were able to reconnect me in 3 months. There's this kind of like ambiguity with this surgery where like I have no idea what I'm gonna wake up to, which doesn't make it feel very easy to go into. No surgery is guaranteed and you never really know what's gonna happen. I learned that the really hard way. Going into a surgery already knowing that feels scary. It gives me a lot more anxiety around this than previous surgeries that I've had. I don't know, so I'm just kind of like just sitting with it, and say the last day and a half since finding out all of these details, I was feeling pretty sorry for myself, just frustrated, overwhelmed more than anything. But I woke up today on the right side of the bed literally the right side of the bed because that's the side I sleep on. But I felt better mentally and emotionally. I just decided that I'm going to try to see the best in all of this. Like, the whole situation stinks, and I'm not going to deny that, and it's scary and it's big and overwhelming, and it's not happening during the best time of year for me because this is my busier time of year with work. I have no control over any of this. To some extent, I kind of have to just like throw my hands up and be like, okay, I mean, I'm just gonna roll with the punches here and try to make the most of all of this. So I decided this weekend that I'm gonna decorate for Christmas because I'm having surgery next Thursday, November 17th. I don't know what I'm going to wake up to. I don't know if I'm gonna have 6 weeks of recovery or 10 days of recovery. And I know myself, I'm gonna wanna decorate myself for Christmas. So I was like, you know what? Let's just drag this out even more, make it an even jollier time of year. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put up my Christmas tree this weekend. I'm really excited to decorate for Christmas because this is the first year in a really long time that I'm in a space that I'm just really excited to decorate for. It's a space that I've lived in before, and it's just home, and it's comforting. And what better way to recover and heal than looking at a Christmas tree and watching Christmas movies? That's what I plan on doing for recovery. I've also put aside some more admin stuff, more computer work I'm gonna work on during recovery. But it's funny because my mom and I were joking about this the other day. We always think that we're gonna do all these things. My mom has had a lot of surgeries as well. So we always think that we're gonna do all these things, and then we end up pretty much just sleeping and watching TV or movies the whole time. I'm giving myself a lot of grace, but I do have things I would like to work on if I feel like I want to work on them. So one of the things that I want to do is just prepare some meals for myself. I know there are some things I'm going to want to eat when I do that are really comforting. I'm going to document it and create a video of kind of how I prepare for surgery, and then I want to decorate. And I have a little bit of work I need to finish up before I go under the knife. All in all, it is what it is, and I don't have a lot of control over it. I mean, more than anything, I just want this out because of the way I am feeling pretty much on Tylenol 24/7 now. When it does wear off, I will say that it is pretty horrible and painful. It just feels like I'm being split in two from the inside out. The other thing is I am so unbelievably tired, and I know I keep saying this, I sound like a broken record, but it's like a deep in my bones tired, and I get up pretty good for the first 3 hours, and then I just want to lay down and sleep the rest of the day. And I'm in bed by about 7:30, or I fall asleep on the couch about 6:30 and then go to my bed later on. So I'd like my life back. I would like to not have this thing sucking the life out of me anymore. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm just taking it day by day, and I'll be looking forward to being on the mend here next week, waking up to a surprise of how surgery went. I'm gonna try to do one more video before I go into surgery, but it might be after. So if you want to stay in touch, if you want to see how this whole process goes, subscribe and like, give a thumbs up so you are notified when more videos come out. I will say this, I do have some plans of putting out more content that is focused on projects around my place and DIY. I did have a request to do an intro video to kind of tell who I am and what I do and where I live, and I know my videos are kind of all over the board, but that's just me, and this is a reflection of my life, so that's what I chose and choose to do. Anyways, I will see you next time, and I just really appreciate you watching and being here. If you like it, make sure you subscribe and hit the thumbs up because it really helps these videos out. So see you next time.